Welcome everybody to Bobby Talks, ... Those dots are there to tell you that there's always more to the story. Today's story, well, we're here to do two things. Chew bubble gum and kick ass. And we're all out of bubble gum. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting across from me tonight is Nicholas Horton. He is the two title holder from the Lights Out Championship organization, as well as the WXC, the Warrior Xtreme Cagefighting. I apologize. Nicholas Horton, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Good to be here with you, Bobby.
Hey, man, I appreciate you being here. He's from Adrian, correct?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go to high school?
I started out at Madison from preschool till my sophomore year.
Okay.
And then I transferred over to Adrian High School. Little more wrestling partners. I was looking for some more.
So you wrestled then?
Yes, I was wrestler, started 7th grade. Loved it. I played basketball my entire life growing up as an elementary kid. And then wrestling, I got out there in 7th grade. I didn't need a team.
Really?
I was like, man, this is all about me. Who cares if everybody else sucks?
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm winning, I'm winning.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter. It wasn't so focused on everybody else. I could shine. Even if I didn't have 4 other guys out there that were just as good as I was.
Sure, yeah. It's always better, though, when you have that team camaraderie. And I can see in some of your Facebook pictures now with that group that you have. Are you guys all under the same, like... what do you call it in the MMA world? Is it the gym? You guys all under the same gym?
Yep. Same gym, same coach.
Okay. Who's your coach?
His name's Joaquin Rodriguez.
Okay. Where's he out of?
Lansing, Michigan.
Okay. And that's what you were telling me, that you actually travel to Lansing, 3 times a week to train?
Yeah, this week I did 4.
Okay.
So between 3 and 4 days a week, I'm in Lansing, Michigan,
Dude, this is like real time, ladies and gentlemen. This is big stuff. So there's always, I had a guy on a couple weeks ago, Kelvin Sullins. Are you aware of who he is?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's played around with it a little bit. He had a successful 4-1 record. He said that he took it serious, but he was shocked by how many people that claimed to be MMA fighters but didn't actually take it serious. Yeah. Do you find that a lot?
The state has changed in the last few years. So 2-3 years ago, before the state was sanctioned, it was the Wild Wild West for MMA. But now, if you want to fight MMA, you got to pay a lot of money to get involved. And they're not just letting anyone get fights. So it's a little more serious than it was 4 or 5 years ago. It's
not quite the fairgrounds like it used to be. Fairgrounds come and pick these things up. $10 a pop.
Anybody could get in there. You could show up there on Friday night, weigh in, and fight the next day. No training, no nothing. It's not like that no more.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
You got to have a special mindset, I think, to actually get in it, but take it serious. There's a discipline that comes with it. Do you find yourself to be a little more on the crazier side of things?
No, I'm more of the discipline.
Okay.
More of the disciplined and focused,
But you're going to war with somebody when you step inside the cage, right?
Yeah, maybe might be a little bit crazy because, the guys, they say about me, they're like, no one gets punched in the face and just keeps staring at me the entire time they're getting hit in the face, but you. Yeah. You can literally be walking me down as I'm punching you and not even flinch.
Dude, I believe that about you because I got to tell you, I don't exactly remember where we met. I think it was basketball. Yeah. Okay, I think it was basketball. Would you say you're a good basketball player or no?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember I don't know if it was the first time I met you because I feel like maybe I just seen you around the area before then, but I remember at Tecumseh, I saw you come in, and I was like, all right, this is a pretty big dude, you know what I mean? You kind of, because I used to work at that place.
Yeah.
I worked there for quite some time, and then you came in, and you're like setting screens on, dude. You're going 100 miles per hour. You're just everything is, about full effort, type thing. Yeah. And I was like, this dude's knocking people around. He's going 100% at these rebounds, and dropping pick a basketball that doesn't take place, right? So I think that was my first kind of idea of you. And I don't know if you know this or not. You probably don't. But I kind of seen you from afar for the last 2 or 3 years. I remember sitting at Starbucks maybe 2-3 years ago. And you were sitting down with, I believe, a card dealer trying to get sponsored.
Okay.
Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah.
What was that about? Are you finding that you have to do most of the hustle, or do you have somebody like an agent or somebody that's doing some of that work for you, or are you all by yourself?
No, I'm all by myself right now. There's been sports agencies that reached out to me and wanted me to sign with them, but right now I'm trying to collect all the money I can right now for me.
Put it in your
my
own pocket.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's hard, though, to get sponsors and to get those types?
I actually have a lot of success, especially being born and raised here in Adrian. Reaching out to local businesses, seeing how far I've come in my story. The community is actually very supportive.
Are they? Okay, so I just, out of curiosity, do you remember that deal that day with the car dealer?
Yeah,
Did that work? Did that go through?
I actually, as I'm going in there to meet with a guy, I ran into another business owner friend, and I collected 2 sponsors that day.
That day.
One stone, 2 sponsors.
Hey, it was kind of fascinating. I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm doing my, I'm watching film on my basketball team. I do that on Saturday mornings. And I'm like listening because I was just curious, I was like, this guy's selling himself pretty good. I was curious how they were going to take you. And I didn't know if, because sometimes with these types of things, especially from our small town, there's like negative stigmas to it. It's like, is this guy serious? Is he real? Or is he just one of those wild, wild west kind of shooting from the hip types? But I'm telling you, this dude's as serious as it gets because I think it was a couple weeks ago, my buddy reached out to me, Jeffrey Snyder. We have him in common. And he's the one that said, hey, you got to get Nick on the show. I think he's interesting. He's doing a lot of interesting things. And it kind of sat there. I had a couple other people that I had lined up already. But then it was like, I think it was 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I saw you running at night through downtown Adrian.
Yeah.
That was you, right?
Yep.
I was like, this guy's motivated. Like there's something in you. And what is it? What is it that you're chasing? What's the goal? What's the dream? Why are you running through downtown Adrian on a random night at like 10 o'clock at night?
I want to be the top. I want to be, top of the world. I got a family. I got a wife and children. And I want to provide for them in a way that I've always dreamed of.
Sure.
I 4 years old, like every other kid, I wanted to be a professional athlete. And at first it was like a football. Then the next year it was dirt bike. Then it was this and that. And now I'm actually bringing it to fruition. I'm beating people on the top level.
Sure.
And, not only am I seeing the progress and the change that's happened to me in a few short years, but everybody else is noticing it too.
I think that's always the, kind of the frosting on the top when you have your peers giving you kind of that feedback saying, hey man, you might have your doubts, but we're telling you can do this. You know what I mean? And it's always nice to kind of get that. What's your record?
Overall, 10-2.
10-2.
10-2.
Wow, you got 12 fights under you.
Yeah, I started out 2-2.
Really?
Yeah, it was no training, just running and doing push-ups at 18 years old.
Just kind of wanted to see what you could get?
Just wanted to stay competitive.
Okay.
After high school, I loved competing my whole life, and a little bit of a troublemaker. I was in high school. I was getting in trouble, and I wasn't allowed to wrestle my senior year.
Oh, okay.
And I had my friends, people around me, people I beat, go and win states and be state champions and go on wrestle in college.
That was hard to watch from afar.
And I was just miserable, so miserable. I was like, I'm fighting right when I get out of school, right when I turn 18, I'm fighting. And I started fighting. No gym, no training partners, not training boxing, kickboxing. I won 2, lost 2.
You were in a hurry, man.
Yeah, I was like, man, I got to figure this out. I got to take some time off.
Do you mind if we dive into your early childhood, like what you're talking about?
Yeah, sure.
So you said your senior year you weren't able to wrestle.
Yeah.
Was it like a circumstantial thing? Were you kind of like your own worst enemy at that time, and you had to figure out the ways? Like what happened? You don't have to give us like all the details, but like what was your setback? What was your adversity?
Well, I was moving around.
Okay.
I was living with my mom. 16, I moved out because I was getting in trouble at her house.
Sure.
Moved in with my dad. He didn't have any rules. He kind of let me do whatever I want.
Freedom, man. That's what we want as kids.
I'm in high school, junior in high school, kind of just doing whatever I want. I moved out to Columbia Central.
Okay.
For like 6 months.
Okay.
Played football for him my senior year. And then my wrestling coach was like, I need you. We're starting a new semester. So I was like, I'll just get custody change. So I got custody change from my father to my grandmother. And I was like, I'm going to be able to play sports. I got custody change, moved houses. And they were just, no, you can't be playing sports at one school and playing sports at another school and think you can't play that card. And that was, a lot of things were going on at that time. I was, almost in fist fights with my father. Okay. Back then in my senior year when I thought I knew it all.
Yeah. And, I see it every day. I teach in a school, so yeah.
And then, just just moving. I never really thought about anything, and I just made the first decision that came to mind. So I'll come back. And I should have stayed at Columbia Central, wrestled at Columbia Central, and but things happen. And
well, you were trying to do what you wanted to do, exactly. So like there's honorable in that, but it just being the AD, I know the reasons why you can't do it.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate though, but it kind of maybe it helped I don't know, refocus you or just kind of drive you even more.
No, probably set me back.
Okay.
Set me back a couple years.
Were you blaming everybody and
Yeah. Okay. I was mad and partying, and I just just girls in college.
Sure.
I was going to college parties when I was sophomore, junior in high school. So that stuff just got a little more intense when I'm a senior, and I have all my friends there and whatnot.
How old are you now?
I'm 27.
27. So this is about 8 years ago, right? Yeah. So you're going through that. You're saying you're getting into almost fistfights with your dad. That makes me wonder, do you guys, you have similar personalities?
Oh, yeah. Exact same type of person.
Okay.
People don't got to take long to see my dad and be like, oh, yeah, that's your son. You guys look just alike.
Really? Okay.
Same mannerisms, both loud. It's just...
Hey, man. I get it. I totally get it. Yeah. I don't have the closest relationship with my father, but a lot of people are like, "You're Bud York's son, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. That's me." Yeah. Okay, so then you go, you're 2-2, and you're like, "I got to figure this out." Yeah. What does that look like? What does that mean?
Well, I'm married now.
How long have you been married?
Actually, I wasn't married when I was 2-2. I was just getting done probably with a girlfriend.
Okay.
And I'm starting to get into the work life. I'm 20 years old. I'm like, man, I got to get a real job.
Make some money.
I got to make some money. I started working with my dad.
Okay.
He got me into masonry. I started out 20 years old, $20 an hour. And was living good. And it was like, man, this is comfortable.
Sure.
I could do this for the rest of my life. These guys got good houses, cool cars, lake houses. I could do this. And then seeing the wear and tear on the body.
Yeah.
Everybody's got injuries. They hate their lives. Drug addicts, alcoholics, everything like that. And that trade, the trades are rough.
Yeah, they are.
And met some cool people, met some crazy people. But 4 or 5 years in that, I was like, man, I want to do something else.
Yeah.
On top of this,
Sure.
So that's when I started fighting again. I was training and fighting. My dad thought it was like cool that I had fights coming up. He'd be like, all right, I'm going to work the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Work him till he can't walk home.
So he was your boss, right?
Yep.
But he wasn't your trainer. You just mean he was going to work you to death. That was his way of training you, right?
Yeah. You got a title fight coming up? Carry 8 blocks around at a time.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, Dad, I'm going to be able to work out after this. I need to practice boxing.
Yeah.
Not just carrying blocks.
Well, then hit the blocks as you're moving them.
Yeah.
It's funny how they have that kind of hold over you, though, right?
Yeah.
It's so would you say you're close with your father, or is it just like a working relationship type thing?
We're super close now.
Okay.
We went through a lot of hard times, but we've always bounced back, and he's like one of my best friends.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you have that in your life, man. I'm glad that you have a wife. And how many kids you said?
4.
4 children.
4 kids, yeah.
It's funny how you said that the masonry was hard on the body, and you're like, I got to get out of that and join the MMA world.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, because that's somehow easier on the body.
Yeah, well.
Not as frequent, right?
It's not as frequent. You might fight 4 to 5 times a year, and the pay's got a lot bigger potential.
Okay, gotcha.
Than masonry for the rest of my life till I die.
So you're on an 8-0 run here, right? You were 2-2. You're 10-2 now.
Yeah.
So you started fighting. You said would have been what, 3-4 years ago again?
I started fighting in 2019 again.
Oh, okay.
So it was real recent. It was 2019 May. Okay. That was my first fight in 5 years. So before my last 4 wins, I was 6-2.
Okay.
I was 6-2, and I kind of took my layoff. 2014, I had 1 kid at the time, doing well, winning, but not really knowing if it was going to be able to pay the bills, if it was going to be able to take care of me.
Yeah.
It was a cool hobby, and I really enjoyed it, but I was like, I don't know if I'm at that UFC level.
Okay.
And if you're not, what's the point of even doing it?
You're right. It's I got to tell you though, if it's something you enjoy, except if you're gonna take that type of beating, I get what you're saying. It's like, why would I put this type of mileage on my body, this type of pressure, and not reach the pinnacle of whatever your pinnacle is? And your pinnacle sounds like it's the UFC. It's the big time, right?
Yes, sir.
How far away? Like, let's say, I mean, you got 2 belts sitting right here. I don't know these organizations, but I picked them up and I was like, okay, this is something to be proud of. Yeah. How far away, like how many wins more would you have to get some serious consideration for that?
Probably five wins, so 7 wins.
Who does the leg work for you on that? Is it? I apologize. Is it your gym? Is it your trainer?
My coach, Joaquin.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my manager right now.
So he probably has the networking and all that stuff for.
Yeah, he coached Rashad Evans.
Really?
UFC world champion.
Absolutely.
So we're connected in close with Rashad Evans.
So that's kind of like, that's the step here, is like, give me a legitimate name in the training field, and you have that now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the name of the gym?
Murcielago MMA.
Murcielago MMA, and you're Hammer Horton, right?
Yes, sir.
This is cool, guys. I'm telling you, this is like, because I'm the last 2-3 years, I would say I'm a casual to becoming more of a UFC fan, more of an MMA fan. Yeah. I started, Brian Ortega's my dude.
Yeah.
Brian Ortega's my dude. That last Max Holloway fight, though, was hard to watch.
Yeah.
But like, he took like 240-some punches to the face, man. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
And he just kept going. That's why I say there's something wild in you guys.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is just like, I can't tell you I'm going to take 240-some punches and keep coming back.
Yeah, come
on. But so now you signed with XFC.
Yeah.
Talk about that. That's a big deal.
It was tryout maybe about a month ago.
Okay.
164 people showed up, all different weight classes. And they ran like a combine tryouts, see how high you can jump, see how far you can jump, throw a ball from sitting on your butt, hit mitts with a guy for 2 minutes.
Really?
Wrestle for 2 minutes. Wrestle on the wall for 2 minutes. And there's all these guys, we're sitting around for hours.
Just waiting for your turn. Waiting for your turn.
They're going out and watching one person at a time.
One person at a time.
Maybe a couple people at a time.
Oh, my God.
And then they were supposed to do interviews with everybody and talk to everybody and kind of give us a little of our background. Well, they did it for all the morning session.
Okay.
My session was like 4 hours behind.
Really?
We were supposed to start at 1 o'clock. It was like 5 o'clock.
That messes with your head, right?
Yeah.
You got to find a way to keep mentally like cool, calm, and collected.
We're waiting to do our interviews before we even go out and do any of the jumping and balance tests and wrestling and any of that. And it gets so far behind that they're like, all right, we're just going to take your name and take your picture, and then you're going to go out there. So like everybody did it except for me and a couple guys. They just took our name, picture. All right, go do your test now.
Do you find, was that advantageous for you?
We waited around for 3-4 hours to do it, so it's like, all right, whatever, man. Let's get to the serious work, because that's not what's going to get us a contract.
Right. Yep.
And
would you say that there was 164, like when you walked into that room?
Yeah.
Like you're sizing the room up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you feel there's 164 legitimate people in this room, or did you have it pegged to like 20, 30, 40? Like, what did you feel? Give me a number.
You really couldn't tell. There's people that I did recognize.
Okay.
That I knew were tough.
Okay.
And experienced veterans, pros, guys from the UFC.
Really?
Guys who were in the UFC and now are out of the UFC.
Trying to work their way back.
Trying to work their way back to another organization and get paid.
Okay.
Experienced pros who never made the UFC level.
Okay.
But fought in Bellator and other organizations.
Like was that Pride Fighting? And
Bellator, Pride, some of the bigger organizations.
Do you remember one?
One championship,
yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's huge right now. New York.
So these are legitimate 164. Like 100, everybody in there is like somebody.
Not everybody, but not everybody. There was a few guys that were like, "Why'd you come?" You don't got a chance. But
they got invited, right?
Yeah, they made it.
To them, that's their pinnacle.
Yeah.
They could say, "I was in there with Hammer Horton."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was some of the, and then they did callbacks. So that's why everybody was like, "I want to get a callback." You get a callback that day. You're sparring. So you didn't fight nobody the entire beginning of the day, the first 10 hours.
Okay.
Callbacks was a sparring match with you and one of the other guys that got a callback. 2-minute, all go blow.
Really?
2-minute sparring match. And
with headgear and the whole thing, or just
it was optional.
Oh, really?
You could choose if you want to use headgear.
Does that make you look though? Like, is everybody like, don't give me no damn headgear? Like, is that, or do they?
You know, it's some people do look at it like that. They're like, if you wear headgear, you're soft.
Like, do you think it would have been negative towards you if you did wear it?
No, not necessarily. You know, I seen a guy wear headgear at that sparring day and drop the other guy without headgear.
Okay.
You know, so you're like, that guy's protecting himself and he won.
Good.
The exchanges, you know.
Good, it's good to hear that.
But I don't train with headgear on.
Okay.
Just don't like the way it kind of gives you that tunnel vision.
Sure.
And not being able to use your peripherals and whatnot. So I chose not to wear headgear that day.
Okay.
But for the callbacks, I'm waiting. I'm the very last person they call back.
Okay.
I'm like, is this bad or is this good? They call back 38 people.
You're in your own head.
38.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh gosh, you guys couldn't have pulled in my heart any harder.
Could have went the other way though. See, it's funny how we do that to ourselves, right? You're like, oh, I'm the 38th dude. You could have been the number 1 dude, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what my wife said. She's like, they wrote your name down first and put you down, and they just kept putting everybody on top of you.
Yeah, exactly. They knew what they needed with you. They wanted to see all these other people first, you know? Yeah. You got something. You got a good wife, by the way.
So the callbacks go, and I'm looking for the guy that I'm supposed to be sparring.
Okay.
There's a bunch of random people in there. They call me, and they're like, so basically the guy who got called right before you, who you sparring, because we called him out by who the matchups were.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I can't think of the guy's name. I'm looking all around, and I'm like sizing up everybody. Like, that guy's about my size. That guy's about my size. That guy's about my size. And then I'm like the second to last fight. And they call me in. They get the other guy ready, kind of like staging us.
Okay.
You guys are next. And I see the dude is huge. The guy is just ginormous. He's like 280 pounds.
Oh, my God.
He's a little bit taller than me.
What do you walk around at?
I walk about 195.
And he's 280.
Yeah, but I fight welterweight, 170.
170. And again, he's 280.
These guys are for sure heavyweight.
For sure, okay.
For sure heavyweight. He might have to cut weight to make heavyweight. You know, he's huge. And I'm like, this has got to be wrong. I'm looking around for anybody I know. I'm like, you guys got me matched up with this guy? And come to find out, they only call back 2 heavyweights.
Oh, okay.
They were teammates.
And they
didn't want to make their teammates spar each other. So they're like, who do we think can handle fighting some heavyweights? And it was me and another guy. And I was like, oh, well, thanks, guys.
But no, too, in a weird way, though, it's kind of like you kind of have an out, though, right?
Yeah.
It's like you go in there and overperform.
Yeah.
Like you drop this guy that's 280 or whatever, you know what I mean? Just hold your own. It's like, that's kind of advantageous to you, you know what I mean?
Good.
So I would have went in there and said, I'm playing with house money now.
Yeah. And I was a little nervous. You know, my dad's there, and my dad's like pissed. Yeah. He's so mad.
He's thinking you're getting out a fair shake.
Yeah, because something could happen. I could get hit wrong, get hurt. You know, he's like, we wasted the whole effing day.
Yep.
We were there 10, 12 hours.
And you're trying to calm him down.
And I'm like, I got this, you know? So I just walk right in the cage. Dude walks in behind me. And in the first 15, 20 seconds, I drop him.
You dropped him?
I dropped him. He threw something lazy. I caught his kick and hit him with the right hand. And boom, right there's big guy on his back.
Okay.
And
how many people are watching when you're doing this?
So there's probably the president, the vice president, all their investors for the XFC.
So about 20-some people in the room?
No, and then all the fighters. All the fighters that got called back, their parents, their family, the girlfriends, spouses, or whatever. So there's a good 100 people there.
So you dropped this big 280 mofo, and then everybody's going nuts, I bet.
I got my friends in the crowd hyping it. They're hyping it up. And we fight hard. He kept pressure on me. He kept rushing me and trying to just get my back against the cage and just use his weight and size against me.
Well, you got his attention.
Yeah. I got his attention. I slipped and dodged and missed a lot of his big punches. I got hit with a few of them. Sure. But I slipped and missed a bunch of them, and I hit him with some hard shots.
Would you say getting hit, was that the first time you've been hit by a guy 280?
Yeah.
Would you say you're like, okay, that's a heavyweight punch, or were you like, no?
I definitely could take him, and I wasn't, You know, I had little people out there, my dad, wife, they were a little worried. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm completely fine. Nothing happened."
Yeah.
You know, it was just like a normal, you know, my teammates are beasts.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I said I've been hitting way harder than that. And, yeah, nothing that surprised me. I did really good. Got out of there. He bowed to me. Right at the end of our sparring session, he bowed to me. We got outside the cage. He's like, "Man, you hit like a truck."
Really?
You know, and got his respect. He's an undefeated professional heavyweight.
Really?
You know, so just looking up his stats and seeing him, I didn't fight no slouch. He's a good guy.
You have a name?
His name's Jonathan Martin.
Jonathan Martin. All right. I'm going to check him out after we get done with this. I'm just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
So, well, dude, so you got signed. You said there's one of 38, or that was callbacks? How many people got
Callbacks got 38.
How many got signed?
I think I heard out of the 164, 15 contracts were given out.
And you're one of them, man.
And I'm one of them. Yeah.
You were the number one dude on that list. Everybody else they got filled.
Yeah, I don't know how it worked out there.
So you guys all get signed. You're now with XFC. How big is XFC's reach? Like, are they a national organization? Are they a regional? Like, what is it?
They're a national organization. They're actually a Brazilian promotion.
Oh, really? Okay.
That is coming over to the States. They've done some shows before. I think they started in 2006.
Okay.
But they have a lot of fighters that fought for the XFC that are now fighting for the UFC.
Okay.
And Michel Piera. He's fighting right now. He's one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. He does backflips off the cage. He does cartwheels. And
I might have an idea who this dude is, but I'm not.
He's always jumping around the cage, doing flips and kicking people.
Just high energy.
High energy, you know. And he came from the XFC originally, from Brazil.
Okay. So XFC is Xtreme Fighting Championship.
Yeah.
And there's some money behind this now. Yeah, so they've signed you guys, the 15. Now there's other people that are on this. Like, how many guys would you say and gals are on the promotion itself that are signed to it?
I have absolutely no clue how many people are in the entire organization. They said they're going to keep the rosters kind of smaller, so that they can keep us active,
keep you fighting.
Yeah, that's
the
keep
thing.
us guys active.
That's what you need. You know, it's like it's one thing with the UFC is that you feel like these fights take so long. Like McGregor's a special case, right? Because does he want to fight? Does he not want to fight? Nobody really knows. This past week, I think he's been named to fight 3 different people.
Called out everybody.
Everybody, right? He does that every time. Like, he's somebody that's hard to love anymore. Do you feel that way with him?
Yeah. I felt like that for a long time, just because, you know, he won a belt, he never defended it. He went up a weight class, won a belt, never defended it.
Were you a fan though? Were you a fan at first?
He was, yeah.
It was hard not to be.
He was exciting.
Yeah.
It was really exciting, especially, a couple of his knockouts where they were in like 12 seconds or less, you know, and you're like, man, this guy's dangerous.
He's the real deal, right?
Yeah,
and he legitimately is he's a great fighter.
Oh, for sure.
Great counter puncher, you know. That's why I didn't think he took enough of that into that fight with Khabib. But there's a whole lot of variables there.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about McGregor. I just was curious with him. I got a lot more I want to talk to you about, man. On the other side of this, if you stick around, I want to talk to him about his training regime. I want to talk to him about any real fights you might have had growing up besides the XFC, UFC, MMA crowd that you're doing, and then just kind of talk about some of the side hustle stuff that you're doing.
Sweet.
Cool. All right, we'll see you on the other side. Bobby Talks, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. All right, welcome everybody back to part 2. Bobby Talks, ... Those dots, you know why they're there. I'm sitting here with Nicholas Horton, Hammer Horton, as they call him, the newest signee of the XFC Xtreme Fighting Championship. We just got to talk, and that means he is now officially a pro. He's 0-0.
Yes, sir.
We don't know. So let's start there. You're now a pro. You're on your way. Things are going to get real. You know the competition is always going to be legit. Do you know, like, under these, especially under a pandemic, is there fights taking place? Maybe not you, but is the XFC hosting any? How does this work?
XFC's just got relaunched, got brand new sponsors.
Okay.
They just signed with NBC Sports.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show started. So that's a big deal. You get an NBC Sports like that. You now have your TV rights. Yep. You got your programming taken care of. Yep. Yeah, that's a good place to start. So,
rumor is they got to do 6 shows in a calendar year.
Okay.
They could do up to 10 shows in a calendar year. So keep us fighters busy. But yeah, this is huge.
This is really huge.
Most pros start out, for not very much money on a regional level, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, somewhere kind of locally.
Okay.
And they're fighting pro fights, but nothing like the UFC. No one just starts unless you're the girl who's like 35-0
right.
in boxing.
Right.
And they go to the UFC.
Or some type of collegiate record.
Ben Askren.
Yes, exactly.
Ben Askren, who's fought for this. Not even Ben Askren went to the UFC first, though.
Okay.
He went undefeated in other leagues and undefeated in the next leagues, and then won Bellator championships, and then finally the UFC was like, we'll sign this guy, we guess.
Okay.
We don't like his fighting style.
Well, look where he got him.
But we'll watch what happens.
And we all saw what happened.
Yeah, we've seen it.
It was, I always kind of root for greatness, right?
Yeah.
It's like Adesanya just fought, him and Acosta. They were both undefeated. You're like, you got to watch that fight.
Yeah.
It just shows you how special Adesanya is right now, right? This dude has energy and he doesn't quit. I mean, guy's dancing before he gets to the ring. They talk about harnessing your energy, conserving it, and he's like, I'm just going to go out here and do me, right?
Yeah.
He would dance before a fight, go 5 rounds, and then dance after a fight. That's how much energy that guy's got.
Yeah.
I root for greatness. So when Ben Askren kind of first came in, you're like, he's what, 2-0, 3-0, whatever it was. And then he fights Jorge, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
he would think it was 2-0 in the UFC.
Yeah.
But he was like 17-0 in MMA.
Overall, yeah.
And all the fights he's took in, but he never really striked with anybody.
Nope.
He always got him right to the ground.
Didn't he fight Penn? Who was it? He got in his second UFC fight. He got
Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler. He got very lucky in that one.
Very, very lucky.
Yeah, he kind of snuck by. He almost probably should have lost that fight, so he never saw Jorge.
Yeah, really. Robbie Lawler was super mad after the fight. They said he was unconscious, but right when the ref called it, Robbie Lawler's up, and
that was a controversial.
Case,
yeah. I would never want to be a referee in that situation, man.
Yeah, it's crazy nowadays.
So anyways, you're with the XFC. Well, when do you know if you will have a fight?
So just talking with the president and their different matchmakers. I'm not on their first show.
Okay.
Their first show is November 11th in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
They said for sure I'll be on their second show, but no date has been set yet and no venue. We don't know a date. Their first show is in Atlanta, Georgia. So the reason they did that was because they're allowed an audience.
That's huge. Get a gate.
They got like 2,000 people. They're allowed 50% capacity.
Okay.
So they got the biggest venue they could get, and they're allowed 2,000 people there.
That's pretty good.
So they're looking for something like that for December. They're hoping kind of Indiana, Ohio, because they did sign a good amount of Midwest fighters who were at the tryouts. So they're like, if we get a show close to them, they can sell tickets, bring fans,
Yeah, because they still, at this level, they still rely on you guys to do some of the selling, right?
Well, yeah. And it puts money in our pockets.
Yeah.
So they're going to pay us, a fair share, way better than the regional level pros.
So wait, you get a percentage of how much you sell and bring in?
Yeah, so put a little incentive
behind
selling tickets, like, we'll give you 30% of whatever you sell. And so you'll grab 100 tickets and try to sell as many as you can or whatever.
I gotta tell you, I'm there. If I want to see it in action, man, this stuff is just it's funny because like growing up, first of all, I don't know if you notice what shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah.
I'm a huge professional wrestling nerd, right? Just always have been. That's just kind of my area. But like the older you get, you kind of like I like competition. I like watching. What's so great about fighting is it's permanent, right?
Yeah.
Like you get all the shit talking that takes place beforehand, and as a fan, you get kind of triggered. You're like, dude, I hope this guy like knocks this dude out. I'm kind of somebody that's like kind of over the shit talking game. I think that's been done to death, right?
Yeah.
But every now and then you get a McGregor, you get somebody that can kind of do it right. And right now, like Kobe Covington, I want someone to shut that dude up, right?
Yeah.
But
he's serious.
That's the thing. Is he playing a role, or is this really Kobe?
I don't know much about Kobe Covington, but I know he's serious.
He's a serious fighter.
He's a serious athlete. He was a top collegiate wrestler.
Okay.
And he really does put the work in.
So would Jorge have a shot with him at all?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Jorge would have a shot. I see it being a similar fight to Kamaru Usman and
Jorge.
Jorge.
Yep.
He controlled him up against the cage.
Yeah.
Used his wrestling. Kobe Covington made fun of Kamaru Usman for foot stomping him, so I don't think Kobe would foot stomp him as much.
Yeah, probably not.
But he would Win by wrestling.
Okay. Yeah, Kamaru really just controlled that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just nothing Jorge was on. I mean, kudos to Jorge for even taking the fight, right?
Yeah,
because that was on short
notice or something like that.
That just shows you who he is.
Right.
But yeah, Kamaru really controlled that whole fight. There wasn't much that Jorge. I think he had a couple good strikes in there, but there wasn't much going on there. So, anyways, back to you. So you might have a fight coming up here. You said you're going to be on the second card. Let us know, is it a subscription-based NBC to watch it, or is it free like Peacock is, or?
No, I guess if you have NBC Sports,
okay,
you can get to it. If not, there'll probably be some type of Facebook Live as well.
Now, do you have a minimum fight contract where like you're guaranteed at least 3, 5, whatever it is?
Yeah, I'm signing a 4-fight.
Okay.
4-fight contract.
So you're going to get 4 fights at least, and then they'll reevaluate what they think of you.
Yeah, and I win all 4 of those fights, and I'll be making, significantly more money.
Okay.
So that's get out there and win, definitely.
So, okay, let's talk about your training regime then. What is that like? How rigorous do you get into it? You're training right now, right?
Yep.
And there's no fight in sight, so you're just constantly ready to go.
Yep. That's I'm late in the game. 2014, 2015, when I was I was starting to reach the top levels of it. I beat a guy twice in a row. For once it was just a 3-round decision. Then a few months later, we fight for a title, an amateur title back then. And I beat him. And then I stopped fighting. I stopped fighting for 4 or 5 years because, like I said, I didn't know if it was going to be able to pay the bills, provide.
Yep.
I was taking care of my family. I was also getting in trouble.
Yep.
Married, young, dad, not really just sure about my life. Not taking care of myself, not doing things right. And 2018, I'm sitting in jail.
Okay.
I'm sitting in jail. I'm getting in trouble. I got a couple DUIs.
So this is real time now. Real life is hitting you hard now.
Got a couple DUIs, and I see this guy that I beat twice, and he's professional champion now.
Oh, wow.
Fighting in Beijing, traveling all over the world, winning big fights, big money fights, and just blowing up.
Wow.
Sometime last year, 2019, I hit him up. We kind of stayed friends after we fought. Yeah. And I hit him up, and I was like, hey, man, I'm in your area. You think I could come train with you? And he literally came pick me up.
Because he knows.
To the gym. Yeah, he knew. I beat him twice. He was like, he was getting ready for his first UFC fight.
Really?
He was getting ready to go in there. This guy should be able to help me out, be a body for me.
Yeah.
And I was...
If anything, you can tell him his flaws, right?
Yeah. He was killing me. I got in there with those guys in legit gym, like I've never been with before, and they were just killing me. I was puking and just so bad in shape. I was the worst one by far in the gym. Last year, October-ish, and I was like, man. But it got me hungry again. I was like, man, I want to fight. And I started straightening up probably 3 or 4 weeks. From today, I just hit my year of sobriety.
Dude, congrats, man. That's
alcohol,
huge.
Marijuana. I just decided it was leading me down a path that, I couldn't continue to go down.
It's one of those things, like, I've never done it myself.
Yeah.
Okay, but, like, the conversations I try to have with my students are about, like, we just hear cops in the ear. They're coming. No, I'm just joking. I try to have this conversation with them about, it's about, like, obsessions.
Yeah.
Everything's okay in rations, right?
Yeah.
But when you become obsessed with it, it really deviates you from your plan in life.
Yeah.
Or sometimes if you become obsessed with it so early, like these guys, it can really never give you a chance at life because you never formulate a plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome that you got that 1 year, dude. Yeah. Congratulations. Godspeed, and hope that you get 2 years and just continue on.
For sure.
The key's gonna be when you get that adversity face, right?
Yeah.
If things don't go the way that you want them to go, how are you gonna, kind of get back up on that horse? So I hope you have. It sounds like you got that support system now, but that's got to be tough. You're sitting in jail and you see the guy that you beat twice touring the world, holding a belt that you think you should be holding now, right?
Yeah. And I was like, super happy for him.
Yeah.
Didn't want to take nothing away from him, but I was like, man, I could probably be there.
Yeah.
I probably could be on that level, knocking people out, winning these big purses in China and whatnot, and fighting all over the world. So I kind of just rid up while in jail. I was like, I'm gonna fight again. You know, I don't know what it's gonna look like. You know, I never stopped working out.
Okay.
So, you know, luckily during my time off, I was still highly involved in fitness and weightlifting.
Which is completely different. Like, strength conditioning is completely different from the conditioning that you were doing with the boys, with the guy that you beat twice, right?
Yeah, completely different. Yeah. But I was strong. You know, I was way stronger than I was. So, yeah, me and him fought at 170 pounds. I was probably walking in 2014 at 180 pounds, or 178 pounds.
Okay.
Now I fight 170 pounds. I'm walking 195.
Okay.
You know, 200 with muscle on me.
So you're a welterweight, you said?
Yes.
So you signed a XFC as a welterweight?
Yeah. I think I could. I possibly could fight up, but I want to fight at welterweight.
So you got to cut to 170, and you walk around at 198. You said?
195, 200. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're gonna drop 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want to talk about. I got trading regime here. So like, let's talk about fight week or fight. You get a fight.
Camp. Yeah.
Camp. Let's talk about camp. How long would you say your camps last?
A great camp for me would be 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
You could do them short notice, but I would love at least 6 weeks.
So take me through like a normal week. Like, what is your nutrition like? Because I saw that picture of you, dude, and you're a brick shit house, dude. I mean, there's definition, there's lines. I mean, you're cut right now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you eating?
So when I'm cutting at 25, 30 pounds, I eat the same thing every single day.
Really?
I might eat, a chicken breast for lunch.
Okay.
A chicken breast for dinner, a couple eggs for breakfast, and
no salt, no additives, no sauce.
Hot sauce. I use some hot sauce.
Hot sauce is good. Okay,
yeah,
there's some sodium in hot sauce though.
There's some sodium, but I gotta get some flavor. I love hot sauce. I'll put some hot sauce on my chicken.
Yeah, I'll put hot sauce on anything, man.
And I'll do grapefruit.
Okay.
I do grapefruit as a snack in between breakfast, lunch, dinner.
So you're eating that every day for 6 weeks?
4, it gets hard. So
yeah.
I'll cut back on what I'm eating, and then the last 3 to 4 weeks, it's like, all right, I really got to get down to weight. At least pull it in closer, 10, 15 pounds.
Okay.
And then, MMA fighters, wrestlers, we know you just got to put in some hard work, lots of sweat, and you'll make weight.
Yeah. So a lot of it is water. Right?
A lot of it's water.
So like that last week, because what I don't understand, and I'm still new to the inner workings of how you do this.
Yeah.
But it's got to be kind of a fine balance between like dangerous kidney failure. Like I don't know if you saw that HBO Real Sports just did a thing on the scare or the dangers of like cutting weight and how and they followed some guy around from USC. I can't remember his name, but that's a real thing, right?
Yeah. For sure, and you know you're going in that, but
have you ever reached that moment of hysteria where you're not really sure what's going on mentally because you?
No, I've always been pretty good, and I never starve.
Okay.
I'm never at a point of where I'm actually starving. I'm eating up until the day that I'm making weight, at least 2 meals a day.
Okay.
And but I'm also running 5 miles. So a daily regimen would look like the 6-week camp. I'm running 5 miles in the morning, doing some abs, maybe sauna, and then I'm going to fight practice in the evening. Spend another 2 hours at fight practice working on striking and wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
So eating only 2 meals a day, 1 chicken breast for lunch, 1 chicken breast for dinner. You put a little hot sauce on there. Are you taking vitamins?
Yep, I'm taking a lot of vitamins.
Where do you get your energy from? Is it just?
It's low. It's lower than normal for sure. But I'll do some green shakes.
Okay.
Some nutritional greens.
Okay.
And maybe a protein shake. But yeah, you're definitely not feeling normal, not feeling yourself, especially like the last week, 2 weeks.
Where you're really cut, yeah.
She's like, I don't like being around you. She just does what I say and stays out the way.
Yeah, I bet that would be hard for everybody, man.
Yeah.
So you weigh in on Fridays, right? If you have a fight on a Saturday, you weigh in on a Friday. And then after you weigh in, you've got to hit that mark within what? What's the XFC room for error? If it's 170? 1 pound.
171.
And what's UFC?
1 pound.
1 pound.
Yeah.
So
that's a pro.
That's a pro. So that's just a pro thing, not even an organization thing.
Yeah.
So so you got to be with
You make weight on Friday.
And then you
have 24 hours to 30 hours
to eat whatever the hell you want, right?
To rehydrate And to eat good 2-3 meals, 3-4 meals.
What would those meals look like? We're not talking like pizza and grease.
Fish, chicken.
But you're putting down some weight, trying to get up.
A lot of water. You go with some liquid IV.
Okay.
Get the hydration multiplier.
Okay.
Make sure you're hydrated and get everything back to normal.
So that way, when you walk into that cage, you're ready to go.
185, 190.
You can put on 20 pounds in one night.
Easily.
No way.
Easily.
No fucking way.
Super easy.
Super easy.
And some people do 30.
So let me ask you this question.
Paulo Costa, for instance. He cuts 50 pounds. He fights at 185 pounds.
And then he'll walk.
He walks at 235. He cuts 50, and the day after his fight, he's back to 215.
215 within 2 days.
One day.
1 day.
Yeah. By the fight day, he's back 30 pounds heavier.
I can't even wrap my brain around that. You just said easy. So the water weight really does play a part in this. That liquid IV, 15. Where do you get all that? I mean, how do you get access?
You can get it from Myers. You can get it on Myers.
I get a liquid IV from Myers.
Yeah. It's the name brand liquid IV.
Yeah.
They got some off-brand versions, but it makes basically 1 bottle of water equivalent to 3 bottles of water.
Really?
So you add it in your water. If you're a little low on water, you're a little dehydrated.
Okay.
Really help you hydrate. Way better than Gatorade. Way better than Powerade. So the sugar's way lower.
Should I get some liquid IV for my basketball kids? Is that the advantage, dude?
Liquid IV is the truth. The
really?
UFC, they only use what's best, and that's what they help to their fighters.
Okay.
So I learned that little trick from my guys who have been pros for a long time.
Yeah.
And they're like, after UFC weigh-ins, this is what you use.
Okay.
So
20 pounds in one night. So you walk. So let me ask this question. So one of the big questions on the Jimmy Smith Unlocking the Cage MMA show on Sirius XM Radio, he was talking about, like, what is the point of cutting weight then if we're ultimately going to get back to the weight that we walk around at? Why not just fight at that? And I guess they were talking about, well, if one person cuts it, you know what I mean, then he's got an advantage over the other person.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me a little bit so I understand, and maybe the people that are listening?
So, not everybody can do it.
Okay.
Not everybody's got the mental...
The discipline.
Grit that I'm just going to suffer for a week or two to make weight. And, yes, it's a huge advantage. I get in there, and I'm 6'2" at 170 pounds. I'm fighting everybody who's 5'8" and 5'9".
Yeah.
You know.
You have range, distance, strength now.
Yeah, strength, everything. Because I'm feeling just as good after 24, 30 hours of rehydrating and eating again. When they come in and they're 4 pounds underweight and I'm exactly on the 1 pound mark.
That's incredible.
You know, but they're walking, right around the weight. So they're like, they think about cutting down to the next weight class, and then they think about it and think about it and never do. So, you have a huge advantage.
Sounds like it. So let me ask this question. All right, I'm going to pump my chest out a little bit here. All right, so here's the question. I'm just some average Joe, right? I walk around. I'm 180 right now, 185. And I'm actually heavy for me right now. COVID really has set me. I mean, I started working. I got 1,000 excuses. But as a PE teacher, somebody who's normally pretty hyper, pretty active, I'm about 10 pounds over where I want to be. With that being said, I've been in 2 fights in my life growing up. I was not a fighter. I was a lover always. It was very circumstantial things. Yeah. I would never go up to somebody and say, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm not that type of dude. But what I want to know is this. I don't really know how to answer or ask the question other than, like, by no means am I saying I can kick your ass. I know I can't. I know that. What I'm saying is you and me, we start barking at each other on the side, right? Now that you have a discipline, you're a pro, you know everything. Like, what is the greater advantage now? Like, would you say, like, number-wise, like, I'm 4 times more greater now to kick your ass than I would be if I didn't have all of this training and all of this knowledge that I don't? Like, just to an average Joe, how much easier it is?
Yeah, it's hard to even explain because, there's a lot of tough guys out there.
Right.
There's a lot of people who are just tough and strong and always been street strong, street tough.
Okay. But that doesn't mean you can do this.
No, that doesn't mean that you're going to be technically sound, and that's what beats strength and willpower and grit, just...
The details.
Because I came in there with heart and strength and just a tenacity to never give up and to win, which I brought up from... football, and basketball, and wrestling.
All those intangibles. Stuff. Yeah.
But my coach is like, man, you're really getting hit a lot in the face, man. We need to get your skills to match your actual, heart.
Yeah.
You know, and now just being with Murcielago MMA for a year, I'm a completely different fighter.
I got to tell you, I mean, the only thing, just hearing you talk about how you don't wear, like, you don't, when you're sparring, you don't wear any headgear. You know, my fear is that you won't have a longevity in the career of what you might want because you might have a short-sightedness of, like, wearing those things. Is it out of stubborn? Does anybody ever say, like, you have to wear this? Like, or they think that you protect yourself enough?
They've done a lot of research.
Okay.
They've done a lot of research, and actually those headgears
don't protect you as much as you think.
No, they actually, so you get hit more.
Okay.
You get hit more in the head. You got a couple inches around your head to give you a bigger target.
Okay.
And instead of kind of absorbing the blow in one spot, it kind of spreads out the blow like a football helmet.
Yep.
Over a bit bigger spot of your head. Okay. And they said it doesn't really make a difference.
Really? Okay.
You know, so you wear the headgear. How about just get hit less?
And it's so that's kind of that's a good way of looking at it. So like if you take it off,
learn how to defend.
Yes.
Learn how to use your hands to defend and move, and how to actually move your head. Yeah. And don't take all the punishment.
Well, good, man. I just want you to be around for a while doing this thing.
For sure.
So you're with XFC. You're not sure when your first fight's going to be, but it's coming up. You're doing all the training thing. We went through all that. I want to talk about, like, since you're a pro, is it illegal now for you to get into a fist fight with a civilian? Like, are you considered, like,
I would say so.
Weapon, like, these are weapons now, right?
Yeah, I'm so much a different person than I was when I was a teenager.
I'm not saying that you would get into a real fight, but I mean, like, if you were, like, those are considered, like, you could go to jail or something.
Probably, you know, because 2016, I won a tough man competition. It was all boxing. Okay. And
which is a different discipline in its own right?
Yeah, and I won a leather jacket, tough man champion.
Cool.
I used to wear that thing around everywhere. I was, partying.
Yeah.
Go out to the bar.
You're putting a big target on your back.
Exactly. Yeah. And everybody wanted to test it. Like, oh, you're some tough guy. You think you're tough. And I'm like, no, I'm the champion.
I'm the champion. I'm better than you.
And but I learned a long time ago, just out of high school, that fighting for me was never going to be what I wanted it to be.
Sure.
At the parties or at the bars, I always got jumped. Really? I'd beat one person up.
Right.
And then I'd fight two or three. And then I was losing. I'm on top of a guy, beating a guy up, and then I get kicked in the head. And
yeah, it's not in the cage, it's permanent. It's one-on-one. It's like,
So I took a vow to myself. It was like, I'm not fighting nobody. Like, no matter how tough I am, if someone has a problem with me, I'm going to run. I'm going to look like the sis. I'm going to get away from it, and I'm just not going to be involved, because being the tough guy and, sticking up for myself has not got me in too much.
Right. What have you gained from these things?
I'm not getting paid. Yeah. I beat up a guy, no money involved.
Dude, that's the best line you can use, is be like, dude, I could kick your ass, but I'm going to get no money out of it. So, like, do your due diligence. Meet me in the real ring someday. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, man, I've really enjoyed being on the show. There's so much more we could dive into. I didn't even get into your side hustle. Let's hit on that real quick if we can. Sure. You right now, you are currently hosting camps, right? Or not just workouts in your backyard.
Yeah, kickboxing lessons.
Okay.
A little fitness.
Is that your discipline? Like, what is your fighting discipline? Like, there's jiu-jitsu fighters.
Originally wrestling.
Wrestling. So you're a wrestler. You're a grappler.
Yeah, boxing, wrestling.
Where are you trying to go to now? Like, what would you say you want your style to emulate? What fighter?
Kind of like Chuck Liddell.
Okay. All right.
More of the using the wrestling just for defense.
Sure.
I don't want to rely on wrestling. No one.
Striking, you say, is improved?
Yeah, striking is up there. I got top striking coaches.
Okay.
Top striking partners. The guy I beat twice back in 2014, 2015, Chaos Williams. Okay. He's in the UFC. He's now my teammate. And his first fight in the UFC, he got like a 28-second knockout.
Really?
So he got the $50,000 knockout bonus.
Oh,
so
okay.
His UFC purse
and
plus
then the
$50,000.
That's a good day.
It's a good day. 28 seconds in the job,
You didn't even get touched, right?
No. And I got those type of guys that I'm working with all the time.
Okay.
World champion karate, kickboxing coaches, and
so you're trying to be a well-rounded fighter.
Oh,
what's your takedown defense look like?
Man, my last fight, I went up against a Division III national champion.
Okay.
he took me down, and he took me down, and he took me down. And I'm normally the wrestling control. I've never been in that situation before, but fighting this guy, but after round 1, he gassed.
He burned himself out.
He got so tired, I started elbowing him in the side of the head. He was trying to take me down, and I'm raining in these elbows from the side of his head. Actually got an angle to where I could start elbowing his side, his kidneys. And flipped him a few times, where he'd take me down and I flip and get on top and just start massively controlling him. Lots of strikes.
He had nothing left in the tank.
Just slamming his head with forearms and elbows and fists. And he took a really bad shot, and I caught him in an anaconda choke. I choked out, the national champion wrestler.
How's that make you feel?
That was good. That was a good one right here.
Heck yeah, man.
That was my lights out championship belt.
Would you say that was your most proud win?
No.
No?
No. That one was good. That one was way harder fight.
Okay.
Way harder fight. All knockout artist. He had three knockouts at the time.
Okay.
And now he's probably at 4 knockouts now. Undefeated fighter. Didn't really know what I was getting into. I was training with Murcielago for 1 month.
Okay.
But I wanted to fight bad. And there was like, this is the only guy we got for you to fight. And I'm like, he doesn't got that big of a record. Man, was he tough.
Really?
I left the fight with 7 stitches.
I saw you at B-dubs.
Yeah, I left that fight with 7 stitches, 4 or 5 staples. I won the fight, but man, it looked like he beat me up.
Yeah, you look like you lost the war.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're running short on time. I want you to take this next 30, 40 seconds, promote anything you got going on, what you want to talk about, those shirts, where they can get them, anything. Take the mic, man.
Yeah, so coming up, I got a new t-shirt design coming up, new sweatshirts. So anybody who wants to get t-shirts, sweatshirts to support Hammer Horton, go ahead and hit me up. Facebook, Nicholas Horton. On Instagram, at Hammer Horton.
Okay.
In the process of opening up my own kickboxing facility. So
in Adrian.
Be on the lookout for that. And that's about it, man.
Guys, I got to tell you, I really appreciate you being here. I had a blast. Jeffrey was right. He said that you're an interesting dude. You're doing interesting things. And I'm glad that we got to talk to you before you take the hell off.
Yeah,
so,
come on, man.
Appreciate it, buddy. Bobby Talks, everybody. Episode 12, Nicholas Horton. We'll see you on down the road, as always.